Tonight, a Broken Hill icon up for sale. So why is the Palace Hotel hitting the market? And the Port Pirie students asking for your help to get them off on an Indian odyssey.
This is Southern Cross News with Tim Hatfield.
Good evening. One of Broken Hill's iconic establishments is set to go on the market. And the Palace Hotel, a building made famous as the setting for Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, is already gaining interest from buyers interstate.
After a joint partnership of 8 years, the owners of the Palace Hotel are putting it up for sale.
There are 4 partnerships who own the hotel, and I guess one of those is ready to move on, and so we've decided, I guess, to dissolve the partnership.
Many locals end their week with drinks at the Argent Street landmark, and it continues to be a major hotspot on the weekends. And it's the only licensed venue in Australia where 2-up is played all year long. The new owners will have a big responsibility. It
really is a 24/7 game. But, you know, I guess one of the exciting things is that you never know who's going to land on your doorstep. So always makes for an eventful day. You know, meet some amazing people from all around the globe and, you know, working on amazing projects.
Built in 1889, the Palace has stood the test of time and evolved into one of the most famous buildings in the city. Miss Lara Revere says there's still room for improvement when it comes to accommodation and exploring the building's links to Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, which was partly shot inside.
You know, it's got a wonderful, authentic and unique links to Broken Hill's history and I guess Australian film history.
The Palace will be sold privately with plenty of interest already coming from potential buyers. But it won't be cheap. The building is priced at around $3.5 million.
We're still probably this week sort of really set to launch it, I guess, through other sort of avenues. But certainly already, you know, we've had quite a lot of media regarding the sale because it is such an iconic building.
Patrick Roinke, Southern Cross News.
Port Augusta Council is not giving up its fight to have parcels of land rezoned from primary industry to rural living, the only way the property owners can legally reside there. The Mayor Sam Johnson has hit out at the Planning Minister John Rao, calling his department arrogant.
Port Augusta Council estimates it spent the better part of $100,000 standing up for the owners of roughly 50 properties in Stirling North. The owners want to build houses on their land but can't because the blocks are zoned as primary industry, an irregularity birthed from the amalgamation of the Corn and Kanyaka councils.
And all we're asking to do is to fix one very little issue which has become a planning anomaly.
Last year, Mayor Johnson made a submission to the Parliamentary Review Committee which he says agreed with him.
And said that yes, we believe what council was asking for, which is a very simple rezoning change to accommodate those landholders.
Despite that, Minister Rao hasn't made the change, nor has he replied to an email Mayor Johnson sent him last week. Today, a spokesperson from the Minister's office told Southern Cross News there was an adequate supply of rural living land to accommodate the town's projected population growth.
All we want is for him to actually understand the situation, understand that by making this land primary industry, he is effectively rendering this land useless.
Lauren Rose, Southern Cross News.
Whyalla Council has been told it faces a major repair bill for the town's jetty. Repairs will cost around $1 million to replace damaged components and return it to safe use. Council passed a resolution moved by Councillor Tom Antonio last night asking for a report on the cost of building a new jetty versus the cost of refurbishing the old one. Things got tense during the meeting after a member of the public, who alerted the council to the condition, asked for an apology from the Mayor Lynn Brewer for denying there was an issue, only to be rebuffed.
To a very negative account by a lot of the people here in Whyalla, including the Mayor. I would like to know, is the Mayor prepared to apologise and admit that there was something seriously wrong with the jetty?
Consequently, we've had further information. I'm not going to give an apology, but perhaps you might like to give me an apology for some of the comments you've made about me in the past 7 or 8 months.
The state government is still under pressure to release details of a plan that would have kept Alinta operating for longer. The confidential documents have caused a rift within the Labor Party. Premier Jay Weatherill says he would take advice on whether to release them, while the Energy Minister Tom Koutsantonis says he would if Alinta says it's okay. It's believed the documents outline the assistance package Alinta requested from the state government and possibly an offer to sell the site for just a gold coin. But the state government has always maintained there was never an offer made that suited its needs. Well, this year Port Oval in Port Pirie has become home to all Aussie Rules games due to the Memorial Oval receiving an upgrade. To cater for the growth, several changes have been made to the Port Club rooms.
Major changes are underway to get Port Oval in line with the coming footy season. Brand new change rooms are at the centre of the upgrade.
All should be completed within, I would say, 3 weeks, ready for football in about 4 weeks.
Still to come is coaching boxes, a timer's shed and a new shade area for spectators.
There's a big shaded area going in front of the change rooms there. Hopefully all that will start taking place within a fortnight.
The facilities will bring the Port Club up to standards before the season kicks off in a month's time.
Because it's happened so quickly, you know, there isn't too many chairs and that around the place, but we can still put cars around the oval, playground for the kids, and all the facilities will be here. Mr
Johnson said the club had been waiting for this moment for some time.
The main thing that we do is football, and it's just been disappointing over the last 50 years, I suppose, that we've never been able to play here. So yeah, it's a great thing for this club to finally be able to use it for what it was built for.
The thousands of dollars worth of upgrades have guaranteed future games at the Oval beyond Memorial Oval's completion.
To try and combat a lot of Sunday games, this will be the second Oval in the SGL that we can play here on a Saturday.
Keziah Sullivan, Southern Cross News.
Well, stay with us. Still to come in tonight's local news, the RFDS taking an important vaccination to remote centres to help protect teenagers. The details next. Welcome back. Whyala's strategic plan for the next 5 years is out for consultation, with the public encouraged to read it and have their say. The document has been created after consultation with elected councillors, staff and other stakeholders over the last year. It's been reviewed recently to take into account the challenges currently facing the city. The Mayor says residents should head to Council's website, read the document and give their feedback on the future direction of Whyala.
We now want to go out to the community, let them have a look at what we're making our priorities and see if the community agree with that and work with us from there.
The Royal Flying Doctor Service will be travelling to some of the most remote parts of South Australia to immunise adolescents from the deadly meningococcal disease. The vaccinations normally cost $300 but are being offered for free as part of a statewide program.
Meningococcal B is an acute bacterial infection that can kill within hours. But there is a vaccination and RFDS nurse Caitlin Keller is preparing to fly it to outback South Australia to immunise our most vulnerable.
These are the children that are most fragile, really, if they've come unwell. With meningococcal B, it's a quick disease process, and so having access to that immunisation is crucial.
The vaccine normally costs parents $300, but a statewide trial is administering it to all Year 10, 11 and 12 students for free.
We're hoping that it will show that herd immunity improves in the adolescent population, and if that's proven, it will go on the national immunisation schedule.
The RFDS will fly to communities such as Yalata, Unadada, Marie and Mintabee with the precious vaccine Bexoro in tow.
It requires being transported and kept at certain temperatures, so making sure that those temperatures are maintained throughout flight and transportation
is part of the RFDS's mission to provide metro standards of healthcare to people living in the country.
It's crucial because these are the children in the communities that don't have quick access to health facilities like you would if you're in metropolitan areas.
Aboriginal Australians are more at risk of catching meningococcal B, although it's not clear why. Lauren Rose, Southern Cross News.
The annual International Zonta Women's Day breakfast celebrated the achievements of women across the Eyre Peninsula on Saturday. Now in its 15th year, the featured guest was Upper House MP Kelly Vincent, who was the youngest woman ever elected to Parliament.
It's an important day on the Port Lincoln calendar for women across the EP.
It takes a fair bit of work and effort to get everyone here, but the girls have done a marvellous job, and I've seen people from Karku down to Port Lincoln and Tumby Bay.
The annual Zonta Women's Day breakfast celebrates the contribution women make to the community and internationally through the Zonda Foundation.
This is our 15th breakfast, and we have a special guest speaker every year. Each one of them are very, very good. And we started off with a crowd of probably about 60 women. We're now up to 220.
Dignity Party MLC Kelly Vincent travelled from Adelaide to speak at the event. The youngest woman to be elected in Australian Parliament relayed her support for women's rights everywhere.
International Women's Day is really a great opportunity to reflect on how far we've come in terms of women's rights, but also how far we have to go, and that's what I really want to reflect on in my presentation today.
The event an opportunity to bring society's differences together.
I'm really thankful to the Zonda Club for all their hospitality, and it's also really important to remember that we can do anything as long as we, as a society, everyone, men, women, everyone, addresses those barriers that women in particular can face.
The breakfast raised thousands of dollars for birth control kits to be distributed by the Zonda Foundation. Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
Emergency services in Broken Hill will be conducting an exercise north of the city this weekend to test their response to a major road accident. They're warning local travellers not to be alarmed. Here's Patrick with this week's Police Talk.
A bus collides with a stock transport halfway between Tibooburra and Broken Hill, causing mass casualties. This is the scenario emergency services in the region will be simulating this weekend.
It brings emergency services from the unincorporated lands, Broken Hill and further afield, and certainly brings us together to test our capability in the times of in the calm times. So in times of emergencies, we're ready to go and we're on top of things.
Operation Vasanero will bring together police, ambulance, fire and rescue services, as well as the flying doctor and road and maritime services.
During this exercise, we'll be testing the Shannons Creek emergency airstrip. This airstrip was opened in 2015 and is an airstrip which uses a portion of the Silver City Highway.
As a result of using the airstrip, those travelling north over the weekend may be delayed.
All of our emergency service will be getting together. I think we'll have over 150 personnel involved. This is on Saturday evening, and through into Sunday for a debrief phase.
There will be plenty of service vehicles on the Silver City Highway, but Superintendent Smith says it's nothing to worry about.
Again, don't be alarmed, it's an exercise and we're testing our response capabilities and certainly looking at any improvements we can make to those.
Patrick Reinke, Southern Cross News.
Well, stay with us. When we return after the break, the Port Pirie students asking for your help to get them off on an Indian Odyssey. The details ahead. Welcome back. Students from John Perry Secondary and Gladstone High Schools will be taken on a trip of a lifetime to India this year. While there, they'll volunteer with disadvantaged schools, but it's going to come at a great cost.
Reading up on what to expect from their subcontinental stay. 14 students are on their way across the world to help those less fortunate.
It's one thing that people don't do in their entire life, and to be able to do it before I even leave school is just tremendous.
The students will travel to India in September to help rebuild schools where education is not as easily accessible.
I've got no idea what's going to happen. I reckon that's what makes it so exciting.
The students will be going for 12 days and travelling to Udaipur, which is in Rajasthan, northern India, and they'll be travelling there for 12 days and working with the communities there.
Miss Barron said comfort zones will be pushed, but when they return from the trip, hopefully they will have a new perspective on life.
They'll also be doing leadership programs as well to build their, autonomy skills and their self-confidence and their respect for other cultures as well, which will be really beneficial for them.
The trip will set the students back thousands of dollars, so the school are turning to the community for sponsorship to help reduce the hefty costs.
The sponsorship is a really big deal for these students. The students are expected to pay the full amount.
For the students, September could not come quick enough.
I can't wait to learn all the different food, hospitality, different religions.
Keziah Sullivan, Southern Cross News.
The Runaway Brides of Port Lincoln held a special St Patrick's fundraiser over the weekend, with all the proceeds going to Variety. The girls happy to be back in their wedding dresses, helping bring local businesses together for a great cause.
They're known throughout the region as the Runaway Brides, but these glamorous ladies aren't afraid of commitment. It's all part of a special cause to raise money for children.
We've supported all the time, whether it be businesses or friends and even people we don't know. They come along and support us because they know the good that the money that we're raising goes to.
The brides, now in their 10th year, have been calling on the support from Port Lincoln locals to help the kids in need, and the community has responded.
It's been wonderful. We've raised, I think, without this year's fundraising, nearly $400,000 over the time, so we're pretty proud of that.
The Beer Garden Brewery pitched in by donating their venue for the St Patrick's Day event, also tapping a green keg of their Eyre Peninsula Ale, with the proceeds going to Variety.
We like to get behind the local charities, so the ladies do a great job, so we're more than happy to host it for them.
It's fantastic to see local people getting behind local people on a local venue for a great cause to help children.
The Runaway Brides will join in the Variety Bash later this year, with the event starting in Mount Barker and finishing in Murray Bridge. The girls looking forward to getting frocked up once again.
We just keep wearing wedding dresses and keep raising money and keep running away.
Jason Kemp, Southern Cross News.
Well, turning to sports news now, and just like the cricket, a number of other summer sports across the region are playing out their finals series. In Whyalla basketball, Rapina are the men's A-grade champions after defeating the Wildcats in the decider. John Hunt joins us now, and John, bit of an upset there.
Yeah, it was, Tim. The Wildcats had only lost one game this year and had defeated Rapina in the major semi-final. That didn't matter on Saturday night, with Rapina causing a major boil-over in the big dance. The Roos were too good on the night, downing the minor premiers 56-42 to take out the title. In the women's grand final, Rapina 1 made it a night to remember for the young club, defeating Titans 33-18 to win the women's premiership. In Port Pirie men's, the Pacers defeated the Ducks, while the Globetrotters had a comfortable win over the Agnes Magpies. While in the women's, 22 points from Kelly Dunkley guided the Pacers to a win over the Globetrotters, and the Tomcats defeated the Patriots 34-24. We cross over to Broken Hill, and in the men's, the boys and FWA Falcons are through to the prelim final after winning their semi-finals. Moving sports now, and it was grand final week in the Port Pirie Tennis League. Railway Black are the champions for 2017, with a comfortable 6-set win over Trinity. Port Pirie baseball finals got underway over the weekend, and Cats Blue are through to the decider, beating the Tigers in the major semi 11 runs to 9. And in Whyalla baseball, Roadies had a thumping 18-run win over the struggling Tigers. To softball, and in Whyalla, the Spears are through to the preliminary final, with a 12-run-7 win over the Indians. And over in Port Pirie, Solly Cats will play Cougars in the grand final, after defeating the Checkmates 11 runs to 1. Whyalla Soccer held a number of League Cup fixtures over the weekend, ahead of the final in a fortnight's time. Lions are the first team through to the final, after upsetting reigning champions Steel. Croatia blew their chance of securing a place in the final, after coming from 2-0 behind to draw 2-0 with Wanderers. On Sunday, Croatia recovered from Saturday's result, defeating top-of-the-table Lions 3-1. Steel United's chances of making the final took a blow, after being held to a 2-0 draw with Westlands. Steel now need to beat Croatia on Saturday afternoon to have any chance of making the League Cup final. So much happening in local sport as the summer sports finish and the winter sports begin. And if you've got sport results you want to see on TV, drop us a line at localsport@sca.com.au.
Good stuff. Thank you, John Hunt there. Well, stay with us. After the break, we'll have a look at the local weather. Welcome back. Time for the weather now. On a sunny day in Port Augusta again, 31 today's top with 29 in Whyalla. Port Pirie also on 29, showers in Port Lincoln and 26, Broken Hill 34 today. On the national satellite, our region has missed much of the cloud that's generating the unsettled conditions over the southeast of the country. Out on the Gulf waters, the winds to 30 knots to the southeast, seas to 1.5 metres and southerly, sunrise at 23 past 7. So fine and sunny into tomorrow in Port Augusta with 27, 26 in Whyalla. Port Pirie on 30. Port Lincoln could see a shower with a top of 24. A sunny 31 for Broken Hill. Port Lincoln then a bit grey all week. 25 for Thursday and 27 with showers on Friday. 25 and 28 for Cleve. Woodner with 30 on Thursday and 32 for Friday. 28 then 30 but fine to run out the week in Whyalla. 30 then 32 in Port Augusta. Kadina with 29 on Thursday and 30 for Friday. Port Pirie with 31 degrees on Thursday, then Friday getting to 32 degrees. Clare Fine 27, then 29. Broken Hill also 31 and then 32 degrees as we approach the weekend. And that's the local news for this evening. Don't forget, as always, you can stay up to date with us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll see you back here tomorrow night from 6:30. I'm Tim Hatfield from the team here at Southern Cross News. Have a good evening. Good night.